Hello, and welcome to the Cursed Content Club, the only club where we stab ourselves with knives. Joining me are Dan and Bob from GigaBoots.com.
Hey Bob, how's your knife going right now?
You know, it's really rusty, and that's probably good.
Well, I'm having a knife night. How about you, KZ?
I love good content, that's why I'm here.
And that was KZ from KZExcellent.com. Today's knife is the Channel Awesome movie Suburban Knights. So we're doing a little bit of a different thing than last time. We have not watched it yet. So we are going to go around and say what our expectations for this surely incredible piece of cinema are. So first, I think I'll let KZ go.
I vaguely remember watching maybe 4 minutes of Suburban Knights when it came out, because I had a lot of friends who were into that guy with the glasses. And as I watched it, I went, this looks bad, and did not watch any more, so I'm scared.
Do you think it will be better or worse than Kick-Assia?
I think it will be better, but because it's longer, it will do more sustained damage.
That seems about right. Bob, what are your expectations of Suburban Knights?
I fully expect it to be 100% as bad as the last one.
So you're looking forward to giving it a -5 out of 5?
It's definitely going to be a -5 out of 5. We'll see if
He's
I
already
can have my
locking
mind
it in
changed.
now.
Dan.
So Suburban Knights, I saw a very tiny slice of that while walking through a room with either Eric from GigaBoots.com or Hail Xeon, watching it. And my expectations are not very high, let me tell you.
I
Very
bet
low.
it has good cinematography, though.
Yeah, I bet the cinematography is real good. Very spicy.
Mums.
I love cinnamon togmopaba.
That's actually the elite you can run into in Diablo 2 if you take a specific path. You run into Cinnamon Togo Baba.
I don't know what you mean, Dan. That's just how I pronounce that word, apparently.
We have to respect him. He comes from a different culture, the West.
Diablo 2.
I expect this to be better because I've watched this somewhat recently, and I certainly hope I'm right because I'm going to seem like a fucking idiot if it's as bad or somehow worse.
Bob is going to kill himself when Phil goes, and that was the movie. 2 out of 5.
You're free now.
I feel like I should clarify because some people didn't seem to understand the rating scale. A 5 is not a 100%. It's a 50.
Because none of these get to even look at 100%.
You still failed. You were just within reach of barely passing.
Yeah, you almost got a D.
Glad we cleared that up.
I actually didn't know that. I'm super pumped by this great review scale.
Well, yeah, it hits 0 and then it descends straight into hell for about 5 points.
I stand by my previous score.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Now, before we watch the film, does anyone have anything else?
Yeah, I just, because Bob may not know. Hey, KZ, how long is this movie?
2 hours, 9 minutes, and 34 seconds.
It's some sort of epic?
That's why I said sustained damage, Bob.
And Bob,
It's like Wyatt
this
Earp.
it's still only slightly more than half the length of To Boldly Flee.
What? That really is Wyatt Earp.
Lord of the Rings Return of the King.
To Boldly Flee is 3 hours and 40 minutes long.
Is there a Snyder cut? Is there a Doug cut?
I think it is the Doug cut.
Release the Doug cut.
Okay, I think I'm ready for this. Are you ready for this, Bob?
I guess so.
KZ?
No one's ready for it.
I'm ready. We're going to go watch the movie now. And if you'd like to watch it with us, you can get our commentary track for the film at our Patreon, patreon.com/GBpodcasts.
I'll see you after the drop. As you all know, after we watch the movies on the Cursed Content Club, we
give a review and then a score. Except first I need to explain what Suburban Knights even was. Let me get my summary. Suburban Knights is the third Channel Awesome movie. In this follow-up to Kick-Assia, we see Doug Walker's taint, a sight so hideous even a brief flash can make someone's eyes boil. So Dan, do you still have the capacity for eyesight?
Yes, sadly.
That's it?
Then, what did you think of Suburban Knights?
Does anyone remember what I gave Kick-Assia?
A -4.
I'm going to say this is a -4.
No difference, exactly the same.
What's your review?
My pain hurts the same at the end of it. Watching someone who isn't funny beat you over the head with how funny they think they are for 2 minutes. 2 hours and 9 minutes is excruciating. I can't.
I guess that's fair.
Once again, I'm in awe that he got a bunch of people out there to film what they did without a good script being laid down. The one advantage this has over the prior film is that some of the special effects near the end actually are kind of funny. But even still, absolutely.
Also, they got more than one camera, and it's no longer like 240p.
We could see the camera reflected in too many shots, though.
Yeah.
Please stop.
Yeah. Yeah. It's still not worth the price of entry, which is your life for 2 hours and 9
Which
minutes.
is like the sands from the hourglass falling down that you spent watching Suburban Knights.
If you, audience, somehow got trapped taking a dump for 2 hours and 9 minutes, it would be more worthwhile because at the end of it, you would feel better, not worse.
I've watched this 3 times.
Whoa.
I mean, if you did that for like 2 hours, you might get a hemorrhoid.
I watched it when it came out, and I thought it was funny.
Whoa.
Back when you were 29.
Yes, it was a different time. I did a lot more drugs back then.
Back in the 70s.
Yep.
So, KZ, what did you think of Suburban Knights?
Suburban Knights has a similar energy to Kick-Assia. However, it was not nearly as funny. There was no spiders guy, and I hated it. -4 out of 5.
Wow, worse than Kick-Assia.
Yes.
Once again, no spiders guy.
I genuinely liked it less, and it was longer.
That's Damn, I really misread the room on this one.
I was genuinely unhappy at points.
Well, before we get to Bob, I'd like to propose a new segment.
Before the reviews are even
And
over?
I call
Okay.
it,
Feels like I have a bit.
it's a segment of the show. I call it The Lament of Bob Video Games. Now,
Oh, yeah, you talked about this with me.
Bob,
What's up, Phil?
you immediately gave Kick-Assia a -5 out of 5.
Yes.
And you said if you found something worse, you could always change your score retroactively.
Right.
I have a proposition for you if you have honor.
Okay, what's that?
At everything we watch for this, I'm going to ask you, is it worse than Kick-Assia?
Okay.
And every time you say yes, Kick-Assia goes up 1 point.
That sounds fair. I don't think I'll have
When
to say that once, but you go for it.
When Kick-Assia reaches 0, we have to watch To Boldly Flee.
Well, that means we never watch it, so I'm okay with this deal.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Now, you see, this bit won't work if he just pretends everything's better than Kick-Assia.
Bob has too much honor for that. I'm sure.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I'm a man of my word.
Now, Bob, is Suburban Knights worse than Kick-Assia?
No.
Are
What's
you
your
brain dead,
review?
Bob?
It's just as bad as -5 as well. Like I said, I'm willing to rate every single thing
fuck you.
-5.
You're just gonna give everything a tie.
Bob is a fucking champion.
Look, Isolation 999 might not be that.
Wait, what? Isolation 119 might not be a -5?
It might not be.
I mean, in my words, it is not. For those who don't know, that's the next thing we're covering for this series. It is not as bad as these two films.
Yeah, no, this is insane. It's even more.
I felt guilt even suggesting we
I
should
stayed
watch
up to watch this.
Isolation 119 or Lumelin films, and yet here I am going, wow, those are vastly better.
Because those don't have some premise that requires like 20 random people that aren't funny and have watched all of their videos.
You're not wrong.
Now, let's be fair. The only one who actually got direct references in this was Spoonie.
Yeah, but the rest of them were just
Don't
on
you wanna watch
screen
their videos, Bob?
pretending that, like, just quoting movies. That's all they were doing.
I mean, there was also the moment where, each character, for those who haven't watched this film, aka the innocent public, this film is basically every reviewer got to fly out to Doug Walker's house with a costume that was supposed to be them from a piece of fiction. And then that was the bit they were going to do the whole movie. So when Phaelus is the rock thing from the Neverending Story, the rock biter from Neverending Story, he just keeps running that bit for the whole 2 hours.
And then it has a payoff, which means it's art.
No, that's not.
No.
And then when the
Why
nostalgia
do you
chick,
continue to speak?
when the nostalgia chick comes out with her elvish queen princess,
She's the
Lord of the
princess,
Rings
the
elvish princess.
from
Yeah,
Lord of the
she
Rings.
just does that one bit for the entire 2 hours and 9 minutes.
Galadriel, I think.
When
name.
Doug Walker comes out to his own house wearing a Link outfit that cuts off too high on his legs, he literally shows his crotch to the camera in an extended sequence that's all about him showing his crotch to the camera.
Yeah, that really confuses me why that's in there. Like he must think that's hilarious. Like, way to have no shame, dude.
Dude probably likes Tom Green a lot.
Oh God, Doug Walker does have a Tom Green-esque
I was
energy.
about to
He
say,
does.
Yeah, he does.
But that's the thing. That's unfair to Tom Green. Let's be upfront about this. Comparing Doug Walker to Tom Green isn't nice to Tom Green.
Doug Green.
Well, I guess I have to give my review now. Suburban Knights is an interesting film if you want to see, like, people with learning disabilities make a movie after having the concept of movies explained to them. Like, you watch Kick-Assia and it's just nothing. And then you watch Suburban Knights and it's like they kind of got better in every way, but it kind of made it even less entertaining. Because now there isn't even the cartoonishly bad parts to laugh at. It's just kind of dreary and dull and makes you want to die in your sleep.
I have a counterpoint to this, but I'll let you finish your review before I talk.
Anyway, negative. No, actually, it's just a 0. This gets a 0.
So, as much as what
How
Phil
dare you.
said was vaguely accurate, I would like to note that I have been to small grassroots short film festivals in the past, as I've mentioned multiple times on this series. A weird thing, indeed. I've never, ever fathomed a fucking movie-length movie that has this bad of an idea of what it means to be a film. And those film festivals are full of things that make me sad forever. Like people ending a movie dancing on a grave. Because, hey, that's an uplifting message as we dance on real people's graves.
I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5.
I still can't even fucking deal with what you're saying. That might be in Yu-Gi-Oh!
That is 100% the ending of that show.
You know, the only way it has the same energy, though, is if you animate them dancing on real people's graves. Here's this live-action video of real people's graves that we animated Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters dancing on.
My God.
That would be less offensive than the ending of that show.
Yeah, no, this movie is incredibly bad. I immediately when it was done, I looked at Bob and I said, "Hey, Bob, you know that Christmas special we did called Wow, It's a Wonderful Life? That is less bad than this." And Bob's like, or I'm like, that's the only thing that's near this bad. And Bob's like, it's less bad, which is unfucking real because we were ashamed of that almost like less than a week after finishing it. You know, once the high of, oh, thank God, a video came together in time for Christmas. Once that faded away, we were like, oh man, that was a fucking shamefully bad video. And that too.
It took Doug Walker 5 years to become ashamed of this.
He's become ashamed of this? I'm kind of surprised.
He reviewed it as the nostalgia critic and tore on it.
Well, yeah, but if you listen to Doug Walker's own fucking words, he says the nostalgia critic is just a character. He's an unlikable asshole. So he probably wasn't even doing it in jest. He didn't even do it in earnest. He was probably just playing a character.
Doug Walker can't act.
Okay. Checkmate.
There's no
You got
proof.
me. You got me. I'm sorry.
What are you talking about? He plays 2 different characters in this movie.
3. You
Three.
lost count.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you forgot the teeth.
KZ.
What?
They all have the teeth.
Anyway, it is now time for the first segment from the previous episode, not the first segment in this episode because we added more. But it's time
Oh,
for
God.
what was our favorite section of the movie? KZ.
Oh God. I don't remember a lot of this movie for some reason.
It's because it was all the same thing over and over again.
All right. I figured out my favorite section of the movie. It combines a lot of aspects of the movie. Anytime Dan had to point out something that was fucked up during this movie was my favorite part.
The part where they
Steel
slowed,
couldn't handle it.
where they reversed footage 5 times. That part where they slowed down footage for no reason.
When you can see Doug in the reflection of fucking shots.
Yeah. It's even
I
better.
still can't believe you saw all these things. I've never been able to see anything like that.
At one point, Jew Wario doesn't say his line fast enough, so they fast forward for a fraction of a second. They're like, did you know editing software can speed up footage? Thank God. That's going to make our performances way better.
It turns out it's magic.
Yeah, they used it extensively during the fight scenes when they had to make an impact scene better. Just do a light tap and then speed it up.
And speed it up. They also had that moment where it was like, we need to cut to a reaction shot from the crowd, but they didn't have enough footage of the crowd. So not only did they slow it down barely, they also reversed the shot halfway through.
So here's something that Dan will tickle Dan. It's 1994.
Uh-huh.
I'm watching Power Rangers before school.
Uh-huh.
And I look to my dad and I say, the way they film, they move real slow and then speed up the footage to make fight scenes, right? My dad goes, no, that would look terrible. So I knew that was wrong when I was 6.
You knew that
Good
that
job.
would be a horrible idea 17 years before this film was created.
The funny thing is they do that back then. Like, they do that in Power Rangers. Phil called it.
Do-do.
6-year-old Phil was really on point.
not when Jason David Frank is involved. They had to ask him to stop kicking them in the face.
Right. Yeah. No, it's usually when they're giant, they film it at a faster frame rate so they can slow it down in post so that way it looks like, oh man, they're huge and their punches are real big. Like, that's always good. I always like that in kaiju stuff. I can't believe you had that fucking conversation.
So, Dan, favorite part of the movie?
I'm gonna be real with you. There wasn't one. But as I said earlier, I kind of laughed at some of the special effects later. So that, like, they hit a guy and he goes flying away, and they cut to a sky shot and they just spin the silhouette of the person, and it made me laugh. It wasn't great, but I feel like
Somehow the movie isn't self-indulgent enough.
I feel like Phalis did a pretty good job on the special effects most of the time, because some of them are really bad still, like the Vegas plug-in lens flare that is the AVGN cameo.
I'm changing my answer.
Okay, go ahead.
The opening scene with Angry Joe because he has the $8.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's fair.
that is the
Okay.
funniest. That is the funniest scene in the movie.
Not only
probably.
funniest, it's also the best. Like, it's good storytelling. It's a good moment. For like 2 minutes there, I thought that movie might have been good.
It tricks you.
And then he walked into a room with 19 other characters they didn't introduce properly, and I just got upset.
None of those people had enough views to get an introductory scene.
Yeah, the only people who get introductory scenes are Spoonie, Angry Joe, and Doug Walker.
No, Linkara got a lot of play too. He was popular.
He gets a lot of
Why'd
play,
you turn to Duke Nukem?
because I was trying to channel Doug Walker's inner script writing brain.
Honestly, like a GigaBoots movie where there's another character that's just Dan doing his Austin St. John voice. Not Austin St. John.
John
His
St.
Duke
John.
Nukem voice would
Yeah.
be incredible.
I mean,
Austin St. John is the Red Ranger. I got confused.
at least it wouldn't be instantly obvious that I was me.
Oh no, it's Dark Dan. He deleted his System 32 for some reason.
Oh no, it's
Turns
it's
into
Dark
Nukem?
Dan. He slightly altered Dan's audio setup to make the recording harder to edit.
Let me move these mics. Yeah, this sounds good.
These characters are insane.
Yeah, but they're way better than the one. Even as, like, self-referencing and up its own ass as it is, it's better than any of the characters in this. Like once again, I think the more interesting thing to do with this movie is properly develop some characters. Bob made a joke at one point where it was like all the critics have to kill each other so that way there's only one left. Like, yeah, you could have done Battle Royale with these critics and that would have been a better story even.
It's like the Avengers. You can't just watch the Avengers and expect to be told who the characters are. That was in the 47 movies before that.
Oh my God, you're right. This really is that. The Russo brothers ripped this off.
I feel like the Avengers actually do a better job of introducing characters where it's just like, oh, this is Tony Stark. This is what he's going through. Here's his PTSD. Okay, you understand his angle for this whole movie, and that works. Whereas in this, it's like, we're all shouty people who think we're funny.
We're all in a room, and for some reason, instead of letting them be characters, they have to play these cosplays they've made.
Yeah,
and that's what they do.
And that's kind of the most annoying part.
Well, that was the thrust of the plot.
Yeah, and it's a bad plot. But hey, Bob, I think it's your turn to say what your favorite part was.
Oh no,
correct.
Let's see. Near the end, there was this scene where a car drove by, and then they edited all the other characters, like this character, instead of bad guys behind them, like they flashed in after the car drove by.
Well, okay, so the car drives by.
That was a funny effect.
It's a stable shot. The car drives by, and they do a crossfade that matches up with the car driving by, so that way the people were now behind it, even though they weren't there before the car drove by.
Yeah,
it made me laugh.
Yeah, there's that, and then a little bit later when the guy walks across that same street and a car hits him, and it's the dumbest looking thing ever.
That's also a funny shot.
Yeah. So Bob's answer is the same as mine. I'm glad we agree.
I feel like there might have been something that almost made me laugh at some point. What was it? When it happened, I was like, this is the best part of the movie.
I guess they'll have to check out the cursed commentary on our Patreon in order to know, because you don't even know.
I think it was when Gandalf just got angry and left.
Oh yeah, that's right. There was like one
Cinema Snob did, or that guy who was the cloak man.
Yeah, it wasn't Gandalf.
Yeah, it was the cloak man who just took off his stuff and then
they were like, "Oh, you're that guy?" And he's like, "Yeah, go to my Facebook. I got a video coming out next week. See you guys later."
Yes, that was the best part of the movie.
Yeah, you're
without a
probably
doubt
right. It was the best non-special effects part of the movie.
I've forgotten most of this movie.
Already.
Dude,
yes.
That's fair. I have been through so many bad films, but this one is one of the few where it's just like, I don't think my brain even lit up with activity.
It was just dead.
Yeah.
The entire time.
Uh-huh.
Man.
Now, I have to pick a favorite part.
It's going to be the Doug Walker with his crotch out part, isn't it?
Jesus fucking Christ, no. No, Bob. No.
Coochie?
I'd have to say it was probably the Minnesotan witch's performance, which I thought was actually kind of funny. Also, her getting maced. That's like the one thing in the movie I kind of think is funny.
So, for the first few seconds of you mentioning that, I went, what are you talking about? Oh.
Well, she's like, "Oh, I'll tell you how to get there, eh? You go down this way, and then you take a right."
It was someone acting, unlike every other character in the movie. And they don't work for Channel Awesome, so they were like actually an actor. You could tell because they had real makeup. They had to bring it from home.
I brought this makeup from home.
Sometimes I like to be a witch.
You know.
Look,
You know how it
Channel
goes.
Awesome Productions are BYOM.
Biom?
Bring your own everything.
So we've discussed our favorite parts of the movie. Time for the worst parts. What we
I'll
think
go
the
first.
worst part of the movie was. Go ahead,
Thank you.
Dan.
I need to think of the movie again.
Shockingly, the scene where it shows Doug Walker's crotch should be the worst part of the film.
But it's not.
Somehow
it isn't.
Somehow it isn't. Somehow that part of the film isn't the worst part. I'm gonna go ahead and say every time they rolled out the never-ending story joke all as one moment, because it's the same joke over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Okay, what's worse, that or Mati?
God damn it. Mati does just sound like a Smurf for no goddamn reason.
It's possibly racist.
I don't even know. It's just so far off the mark. I don't get it.
Like if you make like a video where all black people sound like Donald Duck, is that racist? Or is it just weird?
Yeah, that's kind of the nature
Right?
of this question.
I think it is just weird. Like, it's just so far out there. How would you even?
Yeah, I don't know, but I
want to hear Mati talk about ingredients.
this might be a good place to find some ingredients, but we won't know until Monty
This might
tells
be a
us.
good place to find some ingredients.
Yeah, there you go. That's how he sounded in the movie, and I don't understand why.
Why are you so good at that voice?
I don't know.
But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say the Rock Eater, just because the Mati thing was bad, but you never expected it to change, and that actor just plays Mati in those videos.
Yeah, he's not somebody else.
Right, the Rock Eater was played by Phalis, and I've actually liked some of his stuff before. He was actually somewhat enjoyable in the first film. I mean, he's no Spiders guy, but he was pretty good in the first film, so I was pretty disappointed.
The
That was
Spiders guy's just Doug.
Yeah, I know, but it's a bad special effect that
Yeah,
makes
he was
it.
carried by the bad effect.
Yeah.
And then you realize he's the villain from Lost in Space, but looks nothing like that character.
Absolutely
Like, that was
nothing
just-
like that.
He didn't want to put forth any effort at all, so he just put on a bathrobe and rubbed some makeup on his face.
Yep.
Hey, these episodes had to come out every Wednesday.
But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Hey Bob, what's your
That's
least
really
favorite part?
easy, actually. It's
Yeah.
it's not the scene we've been talking about with Doug Walker. It is, in fact, every scene with Jew Wario and his bulge.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
Mm.
There was like 5 of them.
Jew Wario's David Bowie from The Labyrinth.
The Goblin King.
Aged like milk.
And then the women swoon over him.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
It's real good.
Yeah, no, it's just really creepy and bad.
Good thing he didn't do anything later on or be revealed to have been doing things that would make that extremely unfortunate. Oh, wait. KZ, what was your least favorite part of the movie? Let's not dwell.
Yeah, we gotta escape that tangent. There's a lot of bad stuff here. I was gonna pick that rock dude because that's really bad.
Yeah.
And it was just a bit where I wanted them to please stop. I'm trying not to have a broad answer that's everything.
You could go with Comic Cat wanting to sing.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad bit.
I don't know, that seemed kind of charming.
I mean, compared to the rest of the film, sure.
It was a character trait.
It did have anything to do with him and not his character.
Anytime Film Brain and the Virgil to his Dante were on screen.
You mean Patrick Klepek?
Yes.
The 2 Harry Potters, got it.
That was the DMC3 of this movie.
I feel like that's highly disrespecting of DMC3, but okay.
I don't know.
That Bob, that ship failed with DMC4.
Ugh.
Okay, so for my least favorite part, it was every single bit of every fight scene that didn't involve an effect. So when they're just bopping their props together and yelling as loud as they can, and for some reason, I think that there's more of that in this movie than in Kick-Assia.
Yeah. Makes no sense, but there is. There's more of that here.
That was the worst part, especially near the end where it just felt like there was so much.
I mean, you said you were joking in the commentary when you said there's 27 more minutes of this fight scene, and you weren't joking.
He was implying like the slashy part, which made me want to possibly die.
Yeah, then we got the slightly more tolerable special effects laden version of Karate Man.
And then I revealed the racist undertones of this film.
Here's my runner-up. Every time that actor would backflip or do something that would make his hat fall off, and we'd see his receding hairline. That really bothered me for some reason.
Was that a thing there? I didn't even notice.
I think it was. I might have been seeing it wrong, but it really looked like it was.
I mean, the video
especially
quality's
high.
so good. You should have been able to notice easily.
It was a hell of a lot better than Kick-Assia.
I mean, the white balance was occasionally set.
Please stop doing that.
What, stating facts?
Yes,
Facts don't
please.
care about your feelings, KZ. Not an argument.
I
That's
feel like
not-
drowning you, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel pretty upset that I was duped into watching this. Bob, how do you feel? This is our new segment. me and Bob get to do every episode. Bob, how do you feel about Feel now that we've gotten duped into this one?
This is pretty bad, Feel. Why'd you do this?
Look. Builds character.
I mean, to be fair, now that we've done both of these Channel Awesome films, any suggestion I would have for this series is unbelievably better.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I was never going to object to anything unless somebody wanted to bring, like, just something that was unpleasant.
I mean,
Cannibal Holocaust.
Chapter Black's pretty bad, but it's better than this.
Bob.
What's up?
I'm victimizing you for the start of the next round.
Oh no, what is the next round even? I forgot.
Who was your favorite human being on screen during this?
Oh man.
Did we find any of those?
Or you know, human-shaped bag of sour cream.
Or mayonnaise.
I feel like Movie Suit again brought some actual performance to it. He was better than the most of them, but it was probably
It is really obvious when like somebody else touched the script and it became slightly better for one scene, and you can see behind the scenes Doug Walker trying to push that scene back down to include more crotch injuries instead, or whatever the fuck he was gonna put in there.
Yep.
Like Movie Suit's bit about wanting to get Mamma Mia banned from theaters was funny.
I mean, it worked.
In concept.
It worked.
to the...
Yeah, and that's a high bar for this
They
film.
thought about that line.
right. I don't know if that happened for many
The
of these.
line had any attachment to reality.
It was less of a reference and more of a, Mamma Mia sucks. I don't like it.
It was a transformative joke rather than a derivative one.
Yeah, it's protected under Fair Use Copyright Act.
Yeah, I know.
If you put that in the description of your YouTube video, it makes you safe.
As
Yeah,
long
that's
as
true.
nobody actually tries to get that proven in the court of law.
That's how that works.
Unless a company says you're not, and then YouTube sides with them.
So, hey, Bob,
What's up?
as you know, we ran a YouTube channel before this one,
Uh-huh.
and we did nothing but live action sketch comedy.
That happened, yes.
And we made about 61 videos on there with only a camcorder and no microphone.
Am I under oath?
You're under oath.
Okay.
You have to admit to this.
Oh, no.
I'd never admit to this. You could put a gun to my head and I wouldn't be admitting to this.
We did 60
You've
plus.
always been a coward.
60 plus fucking videos. All of them came out before Kickassia.
God, that hurts to think about, but it's true.
Holy fuck, how are these so much worse than all of those? I don't understand. I don't fucking... This is... Okay, so I'm going to go on a rant. And Doug Walker, if you somehow found this in your sadness and you're listening to this, I'm really sorry, man.
I'm not. Did you read that fucking document about what he did to people? Fuck you, Doug.
I mean, to be fair, as I explained last episode, I read that document, and at a certain point, you become numb and you forget things to be strong enough to live on. These two movies is what happens when you get surrounded by nothing but fucking unfunny assholes who are yes men. Because of course you have to be right. I mean, you're successful. That's how that works, right? If he wasn't funny, then why is his channel/site taking off? And these movies can only be produced by that. And I'm really proud of our friends group in that we've never, ever, ever in our fucking lives been yes men.
The concept of you being a yes man is like cartoonish.
Yeah, that white balance looks great. Yeah, that I like the part where you reverse the footage. Real good.
Yeah, we needed that extra fraction of a second of footage.
Uh-huh.
It was important.
I'm really glad that you have one joke per actor for a 2-hour fucking film.
No, you don't need to hide the camera from the reflection. Nobody will notice.
You guys realize that that's longer than most theatrically released films?
Yeah.
I mean, not
Yeah.
nowadays, but yeah.
I mean, most films nowadays even are an hour and 50, an hour and 45. Most of them don't hit 2 hours and 10 minutes.
I just got confused because every Marvel movie is 18
every Marvel
hours long.
Yeah, every Marvel film is really long, but still.
Yeah, but they're Kino.
Oh, I feel like even for them, only like the Avengers movies are that long. Like the ones that are just, oh, this is the new Spider-Man movie. That one's going to be like 140, 145, something like that.
Yeah, I think the newest Spider-Man's somewhere around an hour and 55, but it's fucking insane.
That new Avengers rough cut is like 3 hours and 10 minutes, apparently.
I'm fine with that. It's whatever.
Whatever. They gotta graphically kill all the actors whose contracts are ending.
The funny thing is, as much as I'm ragging on him for that, how long this went on, because one, it went on longer than Kikassia, so fuck off. Two, our YouTube channel, we literally sat there and go, what's the longest video you can upload to YouTube? And then we planned our skits around that. We were like, what, 10 minutes? We'll make it 9 minutes and 20 seconds, baby. It was
comedy.
It was like we're trying to stuff in as much content as possible. So God knows, Bob. I don't feel
the content plunger.
I feel like
did you base skits on like the YouTube time limit? So like,
let me explain, KZ. I wrote a fucking episode of television, and then I went, shit, this can't fit, and we ripped out shit until it did. One of our two-parters, I shit you not, one of our two-parters, because we only did one of those, I think, pretty sure. Anyways, our two-parter, The Legend of Hobo Kyle, is literally, it's the B story of an entire episode of like a television length thing. It was supposed to be like 23 minutes long, and this was the B story. And then it became, fuck the A story. Who needs the A story? So we ripped that out, and then we still went, holy shit, this is too long for 10 minutes. So that thing clocks in at 18 minutes. But still, I could not fathom myself, even at that younger, more full of hubris age, being like, yeah, 2 hour, 10-minute movie. I can write that. I can edit that. I can film that. Let's do this. Like that's...
Yeah, but you didn't have Blip telling you that any amount of content was okay. You could be 4 hours long if you wanted.
Oh my God, that's right.
Guess how long To Boldly Flee is.
I don't want to think about To Boldly Flee.
Every single scene is the worst scene you've ever seen, one after another, going forever.
Not that movie might be good because you said this would be better than Kick-Assia, and it sure as hell wasn't.
No, it is. You're just wrong.
We're just numb to it.
I don't know. It sounds like there was an implied rape scene in To Boldly Flee. That sounds...
KZ, if you can't challenge me on this, or people will push us to watch it sooner. Considering the current ETA is never, that would be bad.
So that's good. We'll stick with that. That whole not talking about it.
Dan, favorite actor.
I thought it was favorite bag of sour cream.
What it all means the same
I've got
thing,
my
Dan.
favorite actor.
I'm gonna have to say my favorite bag of sour cream is guy with stick who does backflips.
Malachite, I think is his name.
Malachite, yes. Malachite has a stick. He does backflips. His sunglasses often show the camera.
The camera is a cool shot.
Can I just bring this up? Is anything starting with Malachi just the most generic fantasy name in the world? Like that just seems so stereotypical to me.
I don't feel like I'm an authority on this, but I always thought the ending of Door or Dorf was that.
Maybe.
So like
Just something
Dumbledore,
about
Gryffindor.
Malachi.
Yeah, no, I get it. I feel where you're coming from.
So KZ, who is your favorite?
That can of Quaker Oats.
Before it became the can of Quaker Oats, or just the Quaker Oats?
Just the Quaker Oats. It's a good brand.
You know, I picked the Risk board last time, so I can't really argue.
Yep.
Yeah, not enough screen time though.
I mean, I guess James Rolfe as a light was also pretty good.
I mean, there was the scene where one of them said "fuck you," and then the other one said "no, fuck you."
Yeah, but it was good with James because he sounded actually genuine like his other content, and none of them sound like their content in this.
Well, none of them sound like people in this.
They're not people.
Because Doug Walker wrote them.
They're movie suits.
They're characters. They're 2 layers removed. Like they're characters playing characters.
Well, no, every character is just the nostalgic is just Doug Walker again because he writes every single line and scene as if he was giving it.
Ugh.
Like, do you think Doug Walker watched any of their shit at all before writing this?
I think it's crazy that he wouldn't. But
I think he watched Spoonie, but that's all I'm willing to put money on.
Well, he watched Spoonie and he watched Linkara because they were the 2 big ones, and he crossed over with them.
I wish he would cross over with them.
Dan's just like, I wish he would cross over this fucking 8-lane highway during rush hour.
Well, I meant the River Styx, but okay. This was a dreadful experience, and I don't know how movie suits or comic hats movies could be anywhere near this bad, so I'm a little bit open to the idea of watching them, but I am not open to the idea of watching them anytime soon.
Why not?
Because I need a change of pace.
Movie Suit made a serious comedy film, that isn't tied to being an internet reviewer. It's called Game Boys, and it's about gamers.
I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
Oh my God. I don't want to sign up for that.
I'm more okay with that than I am with To Boldly Flee.
Right.
But either way, I need to push those further away. I can't fucking take any more of this unfunny internet critic bullshit.
We need to watch something that was commercially released before we go back to this.
Right, which is why we're going to watch Isolation 119, the movie you can watch for free on Amazon Prime.
That's not the same thing.
It's commercially released on Amazon Prime. That counts, Bob.
I'm going to sandbag that film so hard.
Dude, no.
You'll probably be laughing.
You'll enjoy it, because it's not better made than this, but the mistakes it makes in producing itself is fucking unreal. But, I don't want to spoil it. I'm not going to talk about it.
Sound like The Bouncer.
Get fucked, Casey.
You're like, it's really good, but it's bad.
No, see, this is bad. But it's funny. It's funny to watch how bad it is, unlike these two films where I just wanted out. Are there any other closing comments from...
Oh, well, I didn't say my favorite actor yet.
Okay, what's your favorite bag of sour cream?
I guess it would have to be the Minnesota witch lady again. She was already my favorite part of the movie, so I guess she can be my favorite actor too.
Okay.
Failing that, the guy who ran away was the best actor.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He knows how to plug stuff.
Oh, also the guy who was the pathetic loser who got his heart ripped out. He had a really good, completely emotionless face, and he never didn't corpse at all. Which I think is pretty impressive when this fucking script is happening around you.
Yeah, that was actually my second choice. Was going to be that guy, but
why is none of the best actors in any of these movies the people on the site?
Huh.
What a mystery.
If only we could solve this with our fucking brains.
You'd think you'd accidentally pick up some semblance of being able to act when there's thousands of hours of video of you.
Maybe, but in my experience, no.
I feel like the scripts are written for you to not act well.
Well, they're written for Doug Walker, and he can't act well.
When at the outset, your goal is to have them dress up as characters from things and then just make nonstop one-note jokes for that, yeah, no.
I like Doug for his personality.
When your goal is, I recognize that. KZ, what is Doug's personality other than teeth?
Tom Green.
That's it.
So, these two movies have mildly made me regret making this series. I am very excited for stuff that is not made by Channel Awesome in our future. KZ, are you excited?
Even I was worn down by 2 in a row. There needs to be at least 3 months between these.
I mean, yeah, we're getting eventually we'll watch Good Burger.
That'll be fun.
But I thought Good Burger was good and thus not cursed content.
We have to find out. We have to appraise it.
I feel like it qualifies just because it's the most 90s movie to ever exist.
You said Sinbad's in it, so it has to be cursed.
I thought you were going to say good. And I'm like, okay, I can sign up for that. Sinbad's better than any person.
But cursed, yeah, I can still sign up for that.
Yeah.
Did you know that Sinbad once put out a press release stating only that he was still alive?
That's pretty great.
This was
Is he?
12 years ago.
Yeah.
He did that. So maybe not now, KZ, but back when he put out this press release. And it was not, I have a show, I'm going to go on tour. It was literally just, keep me in your prayers, Sinbad.
I'm finding out right now.
Sinbad is still alive.
He is.
Jesus Christ. Is Bleach worse than these two movies, guys? Bob?
No.
Okay.
It's longer, though, so you know.
So it wears you down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to watch...
What's worse? Are we asking what's worse than these two movies?
I was just checking with Bob whether or not Bleach was worse than these two movies.
parts of it made me parts of Bleach make me more upset than any of the Channel Awesome movies.
But at least it made you feel.
I don't even get that emotional over Bleach. There's plenty of parts where I'm like, I'm enjoying this.
Well, at least it made you feel something, right?
I feel like the first 30-ish episodes of the anime are real strong.
Anyways, thanks for joining us for this episode of Cursed Content Club. Look forward to our next episode on Isolation 119, a fantastic film that's on Amazon Prime.
We will enter the era of our lives where Dan can't mention it anymore.
We'll enter the phase of our lives where we all go, wow, that was funny. Thank you, Dan, for making us watch it. Something that will never happen after anything I recommend.
Thank you, Dan, for making us watch.
I'll give it a -5 and Dan will just fire me.
KZ, if you give it a -5, I'll just be fucking confused.
Yeah,
I will be too.
I don't think it's possible for something with a runtime of less than 2 hours to be ranked lower than Suburban Knights for you.
Yeah. I mean, I could understand if you ranked the sort of digestive calmness, a real-ass movie, less than this, you know? I could understand that. That thing is almost incoherent. Almost. Look at me using words like that.
Right? It's like that's the most incoherent movie ever made.
It really is. That's the only thing that may... See, the sort of digestive calmness isn't the best Lumilin film, but it is the most trying Lumilin film. So that'll be the only thing that gives the Channel Awesome movies a run for their money on least enjoyable experience in this series, other than, of course, another Channel Awesome film. It's like Metal Gear. The only way to fight a Channel Awesome film for terribleness is, of course, with another Channel Awesome film.
Actually, Doug's teeth are bisexual.
Oh, no. I just realized Bob said we need to watch something that was commercially released.
Oh, no.
No.
You know what has the same energy as the Channel Awesome movies?
Birdemic 2?
Every single one of those Not Another Blank movies.
Oh, no.
Meet the Spartans is just a Doug Walker movie with a budget.
He's right. Epic movie has a lot of the same energy as Kick-Assia.
Yeah.
It really does. There is a scene where a woman just lays on a mate painting and just wiggles, and that's her falling. A matte painting.
Okay, stop doing that.
She just lays on a matte painting of a pit and wiggles, and there's a bird's eye view shot, and that's her falling into the pit.
But see, that's it all funny.
No. That wasn't the joke. Isn't that the special effect is bad? That was just their special effect.
I don't believe him. Do you, Bob?
I feel like they have to know. Like, there has to be some knowingness to that.
I guess we'll find out when we get there.
The joke was it's like 300 and Britney Spears was there, and Britney Spears is bad, so they throw her into the pit. That's the joke. And then she goes,
was a
no,
great episode.
I eat deep fried butter because I'm Southern and fat, as she falls.
I would believe that that's in the new Assassin's Creed game, yeah.
I mean,
Pardon?
there were a lot of 300 moments at the beginning of that.
You get the
I
300
thought you meant
kick.
the Britney Spears part.
Oh, yeah, no, that's in there too, I'm sure.
We need to cut this off.
Yeah, no, we're going. Bye, everyone.
Okay, Bob.
What's up?
We're doing it.
What am I supposed to say at the beginning of this? Like
You're supposed to say that this is the GigaBoots executive producers. So you're supposed to thank them.
This month's GigaBoots executive producers for February 2019 are Vincent Poverk, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Brendan O'Sullivan, Star Falcon,
Even if you say it right now, it's that one.
Spaceman Spiff, Prince Van Space, Danny Richardson, Dryzart, Wardonis, Shadow in the Darkness, and Shadow in the Darkness. Thanks to our executive producers, and also these guys. Oh man, where'd they go? They're so quick. You think they'll be back?
No. Tell them they can go to patreon.com/gigaboots today.
Go to gigaboots.com and become a patron. Yeah, you can go to you can go to patreon.com and become a patron of GigaBoots.
We're letting you do that. You're welcome.
It was great. It would be great. Thank you for doing it. I'm sure you've already done it.